Hey, Bernadette and Scott Pullen. How you doing, Bernadette?
Hi, Brian. I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay.
Hardcore?
Hardcore. Hey, oh yeah, hardcore. You don't get tougher than you guys. Hey, and oh yeah, you went off mute a little early, eh?
Oh, did you hear that?
I heard everything, dear.
Oh, dear.
You got to stay on mute. When I tell you, it's okay. No big deal. Scott, are you there?
I sure am.
All right. Okay. So
Thanks,
these.
thanks for having us on, Brian.
Oh, my great pleasure. I love people who are activists are people who are closest to my heart. We can do a lot of research, which is great. We can talk, but I mean, the people who actually put the rubber to the road, get out there, interact with the real world, touch flesh, get out there. I mean, we've got to get out there, and I love what you guys are doing. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But first of all, I want to know, I always ask all my guests this question, is what on earth got you two interested in fighting against geoengineering, the scourge of the planet? I'll start with you, Scott.
Well, I used to have a paintball field, and one of the players mentioned to me, he said, look up in the sky. You see those great big long white lines? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, that's those are called chemtrails. And, I took it with a grain of salt. What he was telling me, it just seemed to be absurd. I doubted him.
Sounds like you got a chemtrailer on your butt right now. What's that? What's that in the background? It sounds like you got a jet going overhead.
Oh no, that's the waves. Here, I'll shut the window.
Okay.
Like I'm right on Lake Erie. Yeah, is that better?
We chat. Oh yeah. That's good. Yeah, background noise it's a little irritating because it kind of like covers up what you're saying. So that's great.
Absolutely.
That's great.
I understand that. Anyway, so it caught my interest though, and then I started to do my research, and that was about 6 years ago. And gosh, it took me about almost a year, honestly, for it to sink in. I just couldn't believe that this would be happening. And so ever since, I've done more research and to try and find somebody, that had the same interest. It was difficult, but then eventually I found people on the internet. I met Bernadette last June in Brantford at the alien talk that they had there. It was a conference. And so that's where Bernadette and I and Robert Tom met. And ever since then, I lucked out. I lucked out on meeting two exciting people that have given me a lot of inspiration, a lot of support. They're very dedicated to the cause, and so yeah, I'm happy that I met them. And since then, I've met
was one of them Suzanne Mayer?
Yes. And Suzanne Mayer, I met her last fall, and excellently. I'm just so impressed at what she's doing. Like with the billboards, very, very effective way, to get the awareness out. So, as a matter of fact, she's one of our sponsors.
Wow. Well, she was on my show. She was on my show about 2 months ago. And I met her. We all met together at her great little gathering she had at conference in Toronto. By the way, folks, we're actually not that far apart geographically, the three of us, which is kind of cool. There's a few geoengineering activists up here in Canada, quite a few actually. And yeah, we went to this great conference at Suzanne. Now, Susanna is well known by her site Bye Bye Blue Sky on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Now, Bernadette, I want you to tell your story. One of the things I try to do through my show is encourage people to get active. I mean,
Yes.
there's nothing more fun than being an activist. You meet cool people. You have lots of fun. You talk about important things. You know?
Absolutely. It's true. That's true.
And it's. I mean, that conference we had there about 20 people. It was so intimate. It was so cool. I met so many people I've stayed connected with. So, and you two are the two of them. My favorite people from that conference. But Bernadette, so tell us how you got started and whatever led you to create a great site like what's it called? Geoengineering Awareness Group, GAG Canada.
GAG Canada.
Yeah, give me your background. I want to know how did you get interested in geoengineering?
How I got started was well, I guess about 5 years ago. I belonged to a group, more or less referencing to our galactic family. But in that group, people were posting about chemtrails. So I was starting to learn about them from that, and then would see them outside. But then what got me the most was I moved to Tecumseh, Ontario to retire. And where I live, I'm just a few minutes away from Lake St. Clair. And Lake St. Clair is the most beautiful spot to watch a sunrise. So I started doing sunrise sessions. It was awesome. It's a whole spiritual experience. And
yeah, enjoy the planet while you can, folks. I'm all for that.
And I had my camera with me, so I would take the picture of the sunrise, the sun at the different levels of it coming up, and the reflection on the water, and so on and so forth. And one day I'm waiting for the sun to rise, and I'm looking behind me, which is towards Michigan, Detroit. And the sky was not, that clear, but no cloud formations at all. And so I looked back, waiting for the sun to come up, and then turned around, and what I saw was like an atomic bomb had gone off. It looked like an atomic bomb, the cloud of an atomic bomb. It was just like rolling and getting bigger and bigger.
Wow.
And then it immediately changed, and it was like fingers. It just spread. And it scared the shit out of me because there's two silos on the other side of the lake. Now they were decommissioned, but they were nuclear plants. But at that point, when it started spreading, I thought, you know what, if it's nuclear, I wouldn't be here thinking about it. I'd be dead by now. So I knew it wasn't a nuclear explosion. But it took about a year before I finally read it in a document that the U.S. military started testing chem bombs in August of 2011. And that was when I took my photo, was August 2011. So I captured one of their first chem bombs. But it scared me so much that I started asking around other people, like who would be aware of it, who would be willing to help me. I heard about the Global March coming up, and who would be willing to help me to put one on. And so I was directed to a group in Windsor, We Are Change. So there's a member there, Mike Berry, who said, yeah, I'll help you out. So that was the beginning of my involvement. And from that, I created the Windsor Weather Modification Awareness Group. And we have a website as well. It's at a meetup site, which isn't bad because if you schedule an event, they act like your secretary. They'll notify all your members for you, send out messages and reminders. But anyway, I started the website, and in that website, I was also able to keep track of research information, links. So from the pages and photos, I was directing people there to research documents and photos. Obviously, they were local photos. I did videos. I've taken many photos of the sky for 4 years. So from that, we did our thing in Windsor, and then I met Robert. Well, Robert was doing a Ontario geoengineering booth at the Alien Expo in Brantford last year.
Speaking of Robert, if you're listening, you're welcome to join us. Robert kind of got distracted tonight, but he was supposed to come on. He's kind of like your researcher guy, right?
Detailer, yeah. He's detailed.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be doing most of the speaking on our tour.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's where we met. I helped out. I said I would help out on the Sunday because I was going to the Alien Expo for my personal reasons. But I would help out on the Sunday at the booth. But it ended up when I met Robert on the Friday night, I helped out throughout the entire weekend. But it was all worth it. And from that, Robert asked me if I would come back and do a conference with him or be a guest speaker at a conference he would do in Brantford. So that's how Gag Canada started. From the Brantford conference, we met the guys from Kitchener and Cambridge, and Scott was there too, and then we did the Cambridge conference, and I believe that is when we got together. We chose a name, and that's how Gag the concept came because we figured we had to get people together. We knew there was groups across Canada. The groups were all doing their own thing, but not everybody knew of each other. How to find people, how to connect. So we figured we knew we had to connect Canadians together somehow. So the website itself, I designed it, but I mirrored basically what the Global March website did, or what they do every 6 months when they gather the groups for the global event across the world.
So how long has Gag Canada been around?
We launched it January 1st, 2016.
Oh, wow.
So
it's very recent.
So the first conference in Brantford was, October 2015. So I've been doing conferences every month now, or I've been away from home every month doing something.
Yeah, but you're having meetings here, there, and everywhere.
Well, most Ontario when it's doable because it's drivable and kind of affordable for now because
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want to announce that because we are all about activism's all about connecting with new people and making new friends and people who are interested in what we're interested in. Is that I invite people to call in. If you're not on Skype, figure it out, folks. It's the best software package for free on the internet. You can share information on it so well, much better than Facebook. So get on Skype, send me a link to bporter5611, bporter, P-O-R-T-E-R 5611. We'll create a contact, and then I'll hook you into the show. So there you go, folks. It's your chance to come live on the radio tonight. Join the conversation. Tell us what you think of geoengineering and what you're doing in your community or how you'd like to get started. That's the key. I mean, we got to get people active. More and more people. Okay. So now let's get back to these meetings you're having regularly. I think this is fantastic. So you started up GAG, which is sort of like an attempt to network the different groups across Canada, right? That was one of the goals.
Exactly. It is a networking hub. We're not a researching hub per se. We do have research links there, but our main goal is to gather the names of the groups across Canada that are already established. We enter the data onto the registry that's on the website by province. And then GAG Canada's job is to go out into outside of the chemtrail world and advertise and promote. And by doing that, they can find their groups by going to our website, by going to the registry. And then they can go by province, whatever province they're in. Like we're doing the motorcycle tour, but outside of that, when we return, we're going to be doing advertising in the provinces themselves in whatever
Okay,
way.
let's just back up a bit. I don't want to go too far.
Okay.
Let's get the Facebook site name out there. Scott, give us the Facebook site name.
Okay, that's Gag Canada.
Okay, now the thing is you got to put G dot. If you put GAG, you won't find it. It's G dot A dot G, right?
You're talking about the website or the Facebook?
The Facebook site.
The Facebook
site.
Yeah.
The Facebook site is just Gag Canada.
No, you got to put G dot A dot G dot Canada. Yeah. If you don't put the dot, it doesn't come up. At least not on my browser.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of like a big Facebooker, so I think it's the most popular website in the world. So I think a lot of people are that listen. So I wanted to get that out straight. To G.A.G.Canada. That's the site. So and then there's a website. I've actually never been to your website.
Oh, see, you should get on there right now. And that's gagcanada.com.
Well, that's easier. Is that all lowercase?
All lowercase.
All right. Websites are a lot of work. I'm pretty lazy. I like Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, actually, I need to refresh the website. I didn't realize that things aren't lined up. It's my job.
Either way, you guys can be connected. It's just that I want people to know where to find you because when we get to your announcement about what you're doing, traveling and whatnot, just so people know where to find you if they want to set up an event for you. So.
Oh, exactly. But from the website, they can send us a message that gets us to our Gag Canada group at Gmail address.
Perfect. And then obviously on Facebook, you just send a message. You're posting on that site every day.
We will be. We'll be posting pictures and probably a few stories.
Oh, no. I mean, your site is very well used. I mean, I post stuff to it all the time, and there's always new posts on it.
Yeah.
It's very informative. You've got people from all over the world posting on that site.
Yes, and we have people from all over the world that have joined it too. And it's nice because they can see what we're doing, and if we're successful, then they can duplicate it where they are.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm a part of the Liberty Beacon movement, and we're all about bringing the world together, not just a few environmental groups.
Yeah. We
got to get the whole world working on the same page because we got some big obstacles to overcome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's Gag Canada. Like, are you on the website now? Because I talk about our services. We're gonna
go ahead. Yeah. Let me just find it here. I'll get rid of my beautiful video by Homage. Gag Canada. Oh, it just came right up. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm there.
Okay, so our services. So this is what the website is designed to do. It is to keep record of anti-geoengineering groups by province across Canada, and that's done through the registry. We're there to provide Canadians outside of the chemtrail world with contact information for groups covering their area of residence. And we're going to be advertising wherever and whenever we can get free community ads in each province. I mean, it's a project that we still have to work on, but that's the intention. There's always free advertising in all the provinces, so it's a matter of us finding them and keep posting.
Do you have any paid staff, or how many volunteers do you have working on Gag Canada?
Volunteers? Well, there's basically the three of us that are active, which is Robert, Scott, and myself.
Okay.
Paid staff?
3 full-timers.
Paid staff? I wish.
I don't know. I mean...
No, everything we do is out of pocket, and I mean everything. Everything we do is out of pocket expense.
Wonderful.
So
See that, folks? Beautiful people doing everything on their own dime, taking their time. I mean, this is what we need, folks. We need a lot more Scotts and Bernadettes out there. And hey, it ain't going to get done unless we do it, because the government ain't going to fix anything. The military-industrial complex ain't going to fix this problem. It's got to be us.
So we qualify as volunteers.
Yeah.
That's the only barrier, that I've encountered. I'm on a fixed income, and I'm selling stuff. I'm having a big sale in the middle of this month because I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of my stuff, because stuff is only stuff. What I'm doing or what we're doing now is more important than stuff. And I'm making it. Like, I picked up my motorcycle today, and it was just a little under $1,000. For them to do the repairs. I now have a nice brand new windshield, and they have it in tip-top shape. But the way that I feel, and this is my philosophy, if you say you can't, you won't. If you say you can, you will. And I'm a firm believer in that. And as soon as you say you will, yes, you are going to have challenges along the way. There's going to be some barriers, but you can always get around the barriers, And the more support that you have, it makes it even easier. If you think that you can do it alone, it's not going to work. You have to network. You have to work together. Other words, it's not going to be effective.
Well, I'll tell you, that event that you guys helped Suzanne with, I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, I've been to a lot of different events through my, almost 40 years now as an activist. That was one of the best because it was intimate and I felt comfortable. And I felt comfortable to meet new people. I'm kind of going to myself. I'm not shy. But I've been, you go to events and nobody's really like connecting, it's kind of like everybody feels awkward because they're all new and all this stuff. So I thought it was a really well put together event. And once I get off my ski lifestyle here in about 2 weeks, we're shutting the hill down here. So I'll be coming back to Toronto and I'll be helping you guys out. Now, is there still room for me in the van as we drive out to Vancouver?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you committing?
Oh yeah, I'm committing. Of course, I have no idea how I'm going to get home because I got to get. I don't think I can take 30 days to come back, but who knows? But I definitely want to go out there. I one of the things I wanted to talk about now because it kind of fits in well, is this great conference that I've had. Again, I had Matt Ladman on. I don't know if you guys heard that show. He's a super guy. I'm talking about paying for stuff. I mean, he's putting out thousands, probably tens of thousands of bucks to organize this conference out of his own pocket. Bring people in from all over the world, some of the top geoengineering experts. It's going to be at, I forget the campus, is the university. I have to look it up, but it's called the Global Chemtrail Summit. It's on Facebook.
It's also, if you go on the GAG Canada website under events, you will find it there.
There we go. See? It's a place for all the important information, folks. So you go to GAG Canada, you'll find it there. This is the biggest summit or the biggest collection of geoengineering experts I think that's ever assembled in Canada. We got to support this. I personally, plan to give Matt some money because, I mean, there's no way he should have to pay for this out of his own pocket. I agree. We should all pony up some money for Matt. I mean, he's a super guy. Now, and just like you guys, he's having all these smaller events that are leading up to the conference every couple of weeks. I had Patrick Roddy on. He was at one of his events, I think, leading up to this thing. So
in Oregon.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful family, folks. The geoengineering family. They're all nice folk. I haven't met anyone I didn't like yet. So you got to get involved. This is where it's at. This is the movement of the future. It's being squashed now by a lot of people in the mainstream media. But I think eventually we're going to make a huge breakthrough, and I don't think it's too far away, guys. What do you think?
I don't think so either. Like I'm noticing the difference. I look at the Uxbridge event we did a couple of weeks ago. It was freezing rain. We had an ice storm. I mean, I made it to Uxbridge the night before, but I mean, I had to scrape the ice off the car to get to the place. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to get canceled. But still, 20 people showed up. So,
that's
and what I found is that they were all aware. They wanted to be there, but most of them were already aware. So I think it's the more we get out there and create awareness, you're going to find a lot of people will be happy they met you because they didn't know who to talk to before they met you. So it's important to get out there and be seen and be heard. And, it starts with one and it grows.
Well, I mean, it really is. I mean, they have all these social groups, the meetup stuff and all that stuff is usually around dating or other interests. But, I mean, this is a great way to meet good people. That's what I'm finding.
Okay.
I've met a lot of good people through sports and whatnot. But, I mean, these people are the future. I mean, if we don't, and I don't want to sound ominous, but this is a big problem. You guys might want to talk about that. Geoengineering has the potential to kill this planet alone, let alone all the other issues like Fukushima, GMO, deforestation, the use of oil and gas everywhere. And this is a huge problem.
Oh, absolutely. But going back to the importance of networking, or going back to Uxbridge, from that event, there were 2 contacts made. There are 2 people that want to have events at their place. They want the same type of events. One in Toronto and one in Parry Sound. So, I mean, that's what I mean. You have one event, and then we got 2 referrals, if you want to call them that, from that event. Toronto, I mean, there's events that's going to happen in the future from the gathering in Toronto as well. So,
Toronto's a huge population. Hopefully next time we'll get 50 people.
Well, there you go. And thank you for the compliment, by the way, on the organizing, on the assisting with the organizing. I think we did a great job too.
Yeah, no, it was pretty lavish. I was kind of shocked. Usually it's pretty bare bones when it comes to organizing, but man, this was a beautiful room we had it in, and no, I mean that's Suzanne. Yeah, she's class all the way. That girl. I mean, I love that woman.
Yes,
she is determined, and she is. She's I haven't seen her speak, but I'm sure she's a great speaker.
Oh, she did an awesome job in Uxbridge. An awesome job.
Okay.
I mean, I would have her as a guest speaker anytime.
So she was in Uxbridge?
Yes. Well, yeah, when we did the event in Uxbridge. You don't remember that, eh?
Oh, I remember the event, but because I wasn't at that one.
No, you weren't at that one, but her and I did the presentation. Mr. Hines invited us to do the presentation in Uxbridge, so...
Beautiful.
So we did it, and Suzanne did a fabulous job. I mean, I couldn't do I couldn't speak the way she did on the topic.
I want you to summarize. Like, I'm an activist because I believe in it, and I've been one for a long time. And I used to work with kids and difficult kids, and I think in general, waking people up is not easy, but it's very rewarding when you actually do move a person in the right direction. Through love, encouragement, information, a whole variety of processes. But do you feel like a great sense of accomplishment when you actually do move people in the right direction?
Oh,
Scott. Let Scott do that one first.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that I do every day, I go to Tim Hortons, a great meeting place. I'm basically quite shy, but I'm getting over that because I believe 100% in what I'm doing and what I'm finding now, that I can approach people, bring up the subject. Most of the time, people are very interested in what I'm saying. Now that the signage is on my truck, I'm getting people's heads turning all the time now. It's like a driving billboard, and it's very, very effective.
Is there any pictures on the gag site yet?
No, we're taking pictures tomorrow, and then they'll be put on the internet.
Awesome.
Now, did you happen to meet Chad Catherine, or did you have a chance to talk to him?
I did, and we've we've had a few discussions about media, developing better media resources. I mean, I've got a million things that I want to do. So yeah, and Chad's on my list of helpers or co-organizers. Let's put it that way. Yeah, he's a good guy
right now. Yeah, he's listening now. So I'd like to say hi, Chad.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Well, Chad, call in if you want, buddy. You're more than welcome to come in. Chad. And B Porter 5611 on Skype, and I'll put you right on there right now with the gang. Okay, so Bernadette didn't get a chance to answer that question about just sort of, can you give some examples of people that you sort of woke up and how it felt to do that?
Oh, I've been at this 4 years. It feels great when you meet people that thank you for talking to them, because they were aware, but they were just so glad to meet somebody that understood what they did. They knew something was wrong, but they didn't understand what was going on. Yeah, there are many times, Brian, I really can't pinpoint any one that has really moved me, because I think every time I meet somebody that shows potential is quite moving.
Well, you're not shy.
No.
Well, from my experience when I met you.
Okay. Well, sometimes I am. Public speaking is difficult for me.
Okay. Well, it's a great skill to learn. People go to Toastmasters and spend their whole lives trying to figure out, finding the guts to public speak. But, it really, when you're talking about something you believe in, it's a lot easier.
That's true. That's true.
But it's still difficult. I mean, it's still not easy for everyone to do it. I haven't actually done any public speaking on radio, but I mean live in quite a while, and I'm looking forward to getting into that, because I think it's really the key. I have all sorts of things I want to try. I've got a million ideas. So there's a lot of ways to engage an audience, and I used to do a lot of sort of public education around other issues. So I kind of know these things. So I'm really looking forward to going in there with a great presentation, but also to have a great follow-up, because that's the key, right? Is the follow-up to the presentation, getting people engaged, making them feel comfortable about trying to get them to commit to doing something after they leave the conference, right? That's the next step, right? Yeah. Getting that.
Yeah, when we have so far lately, when we have conferences, we're collecting email addresses, contact numbers, the people who have attended, so we can keep in touch and so on and so forth. So we're not losing the people who have come.
Wonderful. And if you know the next event that you're going to do, if you have like a list of 3 or 4 events, and say, hey, is anybody here interested in helping with PR work, getting some ads out there, putting up some posters, whatever your publicity system is. It's all about publicity, right? It's all about really marketing. That's a big part of it. So try to nail them. Not nail them, that's not the right expression. Try to get them committed right there when you got them. Because you see, the human presence is the most engaging thing. Once they get out of your, away from you, and an email's not the same, right? But when they're right there with you, you have a better chance of getting them to commit. Most people know their schedule. Sometimes they don't, I'm not the best at knowing my schedule, I'll tell you. But yeah, it's a good strategy to have, just to try to get people who have come to commit to staying involved and to doing stuff, and we got to make it more fun. The whole process of organizing, a lot of it is actually the best groups, the most successful people are the ones that make it fun, make it entertaining, make people feel like they got something.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, see, that's where good food comes in too.
Well, that was fantastic. I think Matt's going to have some good grub. He said he's going to have some really good food at his event too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, breaking bread, I mean, it's a nice, relaxing way. I mean, people were networking as they were having their lunch.
Yeah, no, I had 2 or 3 potlucks in Ottawa when I was setting up community gardens a few years ago. In 1 year, we set up 3 community gardens. Everyone was a potluck. Oh, man, they are the best.
Yes.
Potlucks. I mean, that is a cheap way to get people together because everybody does their own little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody comes out of there feeling great because they've had some awesome food. And it's just to say, like you say, it's the perfect setting to have a conversation about what you're talking about, what you're trying to do. Who knows where it's going to go. It isn't always just about the issue at hand, whether it's engineering or what. You talk about everything with people, right? It's just a lot of fun. It's a great place. Again, it's a great way to meet people. I think a lot of people are living in a state of isolation right now, and that is not a good place to be.
Yeah. But the size of the group, like Toronto, 20. I mean, it was a comfortable size where people could talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if the local people within their own communities had their own, you'd have their attention, right?
Yeah. My mom, I've had all sorts of limitations on my sort of freedom over the last few years because my mom got sick, and then I sort of felt I had to help her out, and I moved back to Toronto, and she had a crisis, and I finally got her into a long-term home, which I sort of been avoiding for years, but it all went really well. I was very happy with the process and the transition. So now I've got a nice home there with a backyard and everything. We should definitely have something in Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have an event there.
Well, I'll get to resurface sometime in July.
Well, I mean, yeah, you guys got a lot going on. I mean, we haven't even gotten to that because we just talked about we're going to drive out to this great conference in Vancouver. Do you know Dana Durnford?
The name rings a bell, but it's not someone that I can say that I know. No,
he's the coolest guy. He went on. I'm not sure which crowdfunding site, but he raised a whole bunch of money. He got a boat and he toured all around all the coast of BC up to Alaska. He went around all the islands and he just did a survey of all the devastation going on.
Okay, I remember seeing a video of that. That's probably why it rings a bell.
Yeah, there's almost nothing living anymore on the West Coast. He attributes it to primarily Fukushima. He used to be a diver. He's quite familiar with what should be there. He's got tons of proof of what used to be there in pictures and films.
Yes,
and it's quite a contrast. Now, I think it's a combination of things, but Fukushima definitely is not something I want to keep billowing out toxic toxins that are going to last for thousands of years. I mean, he's saying the Pacific's already pretty much dead. I mean, it's a real serious problem. But I hopefully we'll get him down to this conference.
That would be great.
He's a good buddy of mine. I've had him on my show a few times. But he is one of the top activists in Canada, in my opinion. What he did and what he showed, and graphically, and the amount of interviews he's done, the amount of video he's put out there, he's gotten in trouble with the authorities. At NOAA and the university in Victoria because he's called them liars and he's kind of said a few things he probably shouldn't have said. And so he's had a gag order put on him, but to some extent. But he just has to avoid saying certain things. You can't threaten people, folks, when you're doing radio or anything public. You got to, you got to basically go after the issue, go after personalities or people. And
to use your words wisely.
Yeah. You just got to get excited.
Have to use like words like perhaps, maybe.
Well, he kind of incited people to want to hurt people. Let's put it that way.
Oh, wow.
So that wasn't too smart. No. But he's a great guy. He really is. He's quite a character, actually. He's a newfie.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, I love people from Newfoundland. They're a whole other...
So do I. Don't get me wrong.
But he's got a regular show. So, see, this is the next stage in our development as activists and in the enviro movement. The real enviro movement is to bring all the movements together.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm working on all the time. And that's one of the reasons I do my show, is to try to make that happen. So, okay, so we got the gag. And we got what you guys are doing, a little bit to that. So let's get into the gist of it, though. So we're driving up to Vancouver. Now, what's going to happen after the conference in early May? You guys what's the plan, Scott? Tell us the plan.
Okay, so after the conference, we're going to have a day of rest. And then on May the 9th, we'll be heading out from Vancouver. And we'll be given a send-off, hopefully. So it'll be May the 9th when we start the journey.
Okay, and you're going to take a very long time to come back to Toronto area. So what are you going to do? Where are you stopping?
Okay, Bernadette, I think, is more aware of all the stops.
Okay. Well, tell us a bit about how you're going to do that. You're going to have this van covered in signage, right? Get sort of describe it for us.
Okay. On the side, it says Geoengineering Awareness Group, and that shows very, very well. On one of the windows, I have Bye Bye Blue Sky, and that shows very well, because my windows are tinted, so they're black. And then the back window has a jet, with the trails. And then the front fender has, I forget her name.
Nicole Lebrasa.
Let's see, I can't say that. And then
I accuse Canada, folks. I accuse this interesting group. I've had many discussions with them. I love. There's a lot of great education happening on that side. I'm not sure I completely agree with their initiative, but they're a great group of people, and they've done some excellent networking. I'm really glad that they're supporting you guys. Yeah.
So are we.
And then the other one is Alliance. What's the other part of that, Bernadette?
Oh,
Alliance.
Alliance is part of IAQs.
Yeah.
Sorry. The other one is, you were talking about RC Hobbies, the Windsor sponsor?
No.
So, but basically you're getting small corporate sponsors for this initiative.
Yes.
What you're doing in sort of technical terms is you're mainstreaming the issue. And this is something that, again, Suzanne Mayer is very good at. She's hooked up with some... Has she had this home show up there in Aurelia yet?
No, not yet. I think it's in May.
But she's co-sponsoring this event, which I thought was brilliant. What a great idea. A home show. I mean, what could be more mainstream than a home show?
I know.
And co-sponsor it. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And the fact that they actually would take her as the co-sponsor is also an indication that, people are waking up.
Oh, remind me to tell you about Windsor.
Oh, well, throw it at me now. Oh, well, let's finish this thing. So basically, you've got all this signage on this van, and plus Scott's going to have a bike. You're going to bike back with the van, and what's going to be on the bike?
Me. Just me. I don't really have any space for signage on it.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have something crazy on it, but okay.
No, just crazy me.
Crazy you.
Um,
Okay, so you're
yeah.
going to bike back, and you're just going to stop. I've got 28 places. Do you have 28 places planned yet?
We're getting there.
Like the plan is to stop somewhere every day on the way back, right? It's going to take you about 30 days a month to come back.
That's correct.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're going to do a public presentation on every one of those days. Is that, well, approximately every one of those days?
Well, I don't know. I might do a little dance on a street corner. That might be the presentation.
Oh, okay. So, but you're going to do a lot of presentations. I'm not,
That's the plan. We're still working, connecting with groups now on what we can do when we arrive in their town.
Okay. All right. Here we come on the break, folks. So let's go to mute now.
Okay.
And we'll see if we get any callers. Okay? So call in, folks, if you want to join the show. Welcome, one and all, back to I'm Nature. I'm your host, Brian Porter. This is the time in my show when I rant and rave about the importance of supporting Revolution Radio. Freedomslips.com, folks. This is the most popular platform on the internet in the world, listener supported. We're here because of you, but we have to constantly encourage our listeners to support us because we are where it's at, folks. We have 90 different hosts on Revolution Radio. We cover all the topics. Okay, on my show, I basically focus on the internet, not on the internet, on the environment, and on a little bit of politics, certainly promote activism, but there's great other shows, like V's got an incredible show, one of the most popular shows, V, The Guerrilla Economist, Fridays at 8. Then you got Dr. Ott. He's probably got my favorite show, Dr. True Ott, on at 10 o'clock. This guy's been doing alternative radio shows for 30 years. The guy is absolutely brilliant. I encourage everyone to listen to his show, but there's a lot of other shows, folks. And the great thing is that you can get it all in a podcast format, $5 a month or $4.95. You can listen to any show, anytime, anywhere, on your phone, in your car. I find to heck with anything to do with the mainstream. I just throw on the shows, I download them and listen to them whenever I'm in my car. So that's the way you want to go, folks, and do your best to support and promote and talk about Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, with all your friends on the internet, on Facebook, wherever you have social media. We need to get the word out. Okay, so we're back with our topic tonight. The two great activists on the ground spreading the word, Bernadette Green and
Scott.
My throat's going here. Scott Pullen. Oh, man. Me and name Scott, I'll tell you, I forget names so easily. It's not funny.
I'm the same way. That's all right. I was wondering if I could just mention a couple of things.
Okay, now I just want to introduce. We got a caller, Warren Trammell. Warren's a fairly well-known name on my show. A good buddy of mine, all the way from Alabama. Warren, how's it going? You there, Warren?
Very good, guys. Very good. I'm glad to be on and listening to you guys tonight. And it's a very, very most critical subject you guys are going to be talking about tonight. I look forward to it. And wow, we really need this information.
Okay, all right. We'll get Scott get back to what he was going to say. Okay, Scott, what did you want to say, buddy?
Well, it's just been the last couple of years that I've been able to speak out. I was in the military for 12 and a half years, and once I made the discovery of what's happening, I was told not to talk about it.
Really?
Other words, I would be reprimanded. So I left 2 years ago. I was commissioned in 2005. I took an oath to serve and protect the country, and I still wear my dog tags, and I still carry that oath until I die. That's the reason why I'm doing this, because I feel that I have a duty, to the country, to mankind. Um, uh, and the way that I feel is, there's a lot of things, that I have challenged. One was I became Canada's first single male foster parent. Now, when I first approached them, they said, "Well, no, there's no such thing." And I said, "Well, let's make it happen." So within
Good for you,
within
brother. That's fantastic.
Yep. Within a month, I had a 13-year-old boy who nobody wanted. You know, even though I lost a lot of friends because they didn't like him. But what I do, I always try and find the beauty in people, the good things in people. And that's what I focus on and bring that out. Like I was in social work. I did intense clinical therapy. So I have a real love for people and helping them out. You know, that's been always my quest since I was a child. I was told that I would probably only get around to grade 10, maybe 11. Well, I'm glad they said that, because as soon as someone says something like that, well, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm not sure whether this is good or not, but I went to school for 21 years, not 10, but 21 years. And I had to prove to myself that I could do it, and I did it. You know. Another thing, there was never a Native Cadet Corps. So I asked the military if I could take a couple of years and go on Six Nations, and I was in a federal uniform. There was resistance at the beginning.
I bet.
All,
I bet there was resistance.
Absolutely.
For you, brother.
But it's all in the way that you approach. You also have to do research. Like when I made my presentation to the council, I did the research on how to make a presentation. Like I got the ceremonial tobacco and the special little leather case, to present to the chief. And I learned a few native words, and all those things really mean a lot, But I was determined. I was determined to do it. And then I got a lot of support from them, a lot of coverage by the Tekonakwe. I was on a radio show. So it turned out very, very good. So the first Native Cadet Corps started on the United Reserve. When I believe in something, sure, there is fear a little bit, but you have to get over that. You have to get over that fear. You have to do what you have to do. If our forefathers knew what was going on and the amount of people that, aren't getting involved, they'd be rolling around in their graves, And I'm also doing it for the children and our future generations. Now, there was someone that said to me, "Well, you don't have any kids, so why would you worry?" Well,
Well, Scott, it sounds to me like you had a kid. You pretty much adopted a child, took care of a child. That's your kid, buddy.
Yeah, he unfortunately passed away with cancer.
Oh.
But nonetheless, I love the children. I feel very, very sad, with what they're encountering now, with so many other things too, like EMF, like Wi-Fi, GMO foods. But we had a little talk, our group, Bernadette, Robert, and I, and thinking of, what can we do differently? What can we do that nobody has done yet that will help to raise awareness? And that's when I said, hey, I have a motorcycle. Let's put it to use, and then it all unfolded after that. And so, yeah.
They got me on a weak moment to say yes.
Yeah. But you're the cook, and you make excellent meals.
Oh, thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. Because I know you don't like how I cook.
Is there going to be a bed in the back so we can take turns sleeping while we're driving across Canada?
Yeah. I don't know about that.
No.
Well, we still have to figure out we need all the paraphernalia we need to take with us. So we still have to figure out what room we have. But no, there won't be a bed. I can guarantee you that.
Well, I might bring one.
But we are stopping in Caslow, though. That's our scheduled first stop. And
on the way out, you're going to stop somewhere?
Yeah, we're stopping in Caslow. We're staying with my sister.
Oh, nice.
And actually, now that I know that you're going to be there as well, we're there for overnight and the next day, so we can organize. She mentioned there's a community theater that she can have access to, so we can kind of do a little show a video or something at the theater and a small presentation while we're there.
Beautiful.
So that needs to be organized, but that's something that can
Anything
happen.
I can do, I will do.
Yeah, and she's also a registered massage therapist.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see, there's hot springs are there.
I've never heard of this place.
Well,
Is it in Ontario?
BC.
BC.
Caslow, BC.
Oh, God. So it's near the end. Oh, that's a good idea.
But this is on the way out.
Yeah. No, I like that.
You're going to be there.
I like that.
Yeah. And you'll even have a bed to sleep in.
Oh, well, I in the summer I like to sleep outside as much as I can, but I guess it might be a bit cool still in May. So
hey, listen, the weather's so different right across Canada right now. Who knows what we're going to get?
All my neighbors think I'm nuts, but I basically sleep in a tent all summer outside.
I could do that.
Oh, it's the only way to go.
But I have to admit, though, Windsor does get pretty humid. So sleeping.
Yeah. Well, that's why I want to relocate eventually. Come back up here in the mountains. It's a lot quieter here, and it is kind of noisy sleeping outside in the city. I hear the traffic, and in the morning at 5 in the morning it wakes me up. But I still do it because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to experience nature when you're in it. And there's all sorts of beautiful energies out at night that you miss when you're in your house sleeping. So I'm a big fan of that, and I encourage everyone else to do it because you'll reconnect with the mother. The mother is a living being, and we have to reconnect. And that's probably going to save us more than anything, is reconnecting with the mother. Oh. So, Warren, you've been awful quiet, buddy. So how's the chemtrailing down in Alabama? Warren lives in Alabama, folks.
You don't want to know. It's about daytime temperatures ranging from 68 to 72. Bright sunshine. We have a small little thunderstorm passing through at the moment, but it'll be gone by daylight.
No, I didn't say the weather. I said the chemtrailing.
I'm sorry. My bad. Oh, the chemtrailing is terrible. Absolutely terrible. The capital city of our state has two large military bases on it. And they keep our capital city just covered in chemtrails almost every day. Mm. And we hate to even go down there. We have to go down there to buy supplies for the farm here. But we really hate to go down there because of the chemtrails. They're just, just from one side of the city to the other. It's horrible. Mm.
It's funny you mentioned that. I noticed that being where I live, the county of Essex, we have Kingsville and Leamington is prime agricultural land. And I live on the other side of Essex, on the Lake St. Clair side. But when I look in the morning, I look south, and they're always spraying Kingsville and Leamington, which is our prime agricultural land.
Right.
And that they're always, because you mentioned you're a farmer, so it's...
Right, we have some farmland here. We grow there's a lot of farming going on in this particular county.
Yeah.
Very rural, very farm county, and we grow a lot of vegetables, and a lot of cattle, and several people in the area have goats also.
What do you find your crop is like in your vegetable growing garden for with the chemtrails? Do you find that you're getting less fruit? Are they smaller?
They seem to, for right now, in this right in our county, we are seen to be sort of okay. We see about one chemtrail, maybe one every 10 days or so.
Yeah.
Our county here doesn't get that many, but 50 miles away is terrible. But right here in our county, we are fortunate that it's not too bad.
So it's not affecting your crop growing.
Not here, but it is to the south of us.
Okay.
50, 75, 100 miles south of us. It's affecting those people greatly.
Yeah.
Terrible. And,
well, the problem is the nanoparticles. It's hard to discern the damage that they are doing.
It is. Good point. It is.
I mean, they're really innocuous until we start filling our bodies full of them. Plants are full of them. It's like radiation. It's long-term exposure, long-term accumulation. That's
correct.
Going on, and it's weakening us. I was listening to another show today, and they said there's some really bad pneumonia sweeping through the U.S. now. They don't talk about it on the mainstream media. There's a lot of people dying from this pneumonia. Yes. And anything like that, they you don't hear about. You don't hear the truth about it. That's for sure. What's causing it? The respiratory illnesses are off the chart right now because of geoengineering.
Yeah,
chemtrailing.
I hadn't been sick for 5 years up until the fall, and then I got that respiratory problem, and and it's still there. I've had it for close to 4.5, 5 months now, and but I detox. I'm trying everything. The next thing I'm going to try is turpentine with sugar, and I was told that that's supposed to help.
Did you say turpentine?
Organic.
Yeah.
Pure pine gum.
Organic.
And you can buy it at the hardware store.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty dramatic.
Oh, hey, it's pure pine gum.
Yeah, is
you eat maple syrup from a tree?
Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't you eat pine gum from a tree?
Well, okay, so it is safe. I mean, it
has to be organic.
Okay.
Don't buy the paint thinner one.
I think that's what they put in Buckley's cough syrup. I got some of that from my mom. She had a pretty bad cold this winter, and I forgot how strong. I took a spoonful. I said, "Holy cow, this stuff is potent." Yeah, maybe you should try some Buckley's. I think it's pretty much made of the same stuff.
Anyway.
I think it's very important. When you're giving a presentation, that's a big shock to a lot of the people. Because most are in their own little safe bubble. We've been taught, that the government looks after us, blah 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 blah. But we're living a fallacy.
Yeah. Well, because of your position, I wanted to ask you this before I forget, Scott. Because of your previous role as a part of the military, Have you corresponded with them about this? Have you sent them any letters? Have you tried to talk to people higher up in the military and complain about it?
They will not talk about it. It doesn't exist.
But you've been told not to talk about it yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing they'll say is don't talk about it. We're not going to talk about it, and you better not talk about it.
Well, I can now because I'm no longer in the military. So, I can say whatever I want to say.
And when you were basically told not to, and if you did, were there going to be consequences?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyways, I firmly believe that when you give a presentation, at the end, I think it's important to give them hope. There are ways to protect your body, like with the detoxing, and other techniques, and I think that needs to be incorporated in your presentations.
Do you know Tony well? Remember the guy who presented about?
Yes.
I want to get him on the show.
Absolutely. Amazing guy. I'd like to try that bucket that he uses, and it draws a lot of the toxins out, and you'd be amazed at what comes out of your body.
He's the first nanoparticle doctor I've ever met. That was pretty cool, his presentation.
He's attending our Global March event, April 23rd.
Okay.
Totally. But earlier when I said remind...
why don't we talk a bit about that? Because that's something I keep forgetting about myself.
Yeah.
Where's that going to be?
Okay, well, you mentioned earlier about co-hosting, that Suzanne is co-hosting the home show with... or is co-hosting.
In Aurelia, yeah.
Yeah, in Aurelia.
Ontario.
And this week, for the Global March for Windsor, what we're going to do this year is we're doing a yard sale. And people will come to the yard sale, and obviously we're going to have our awareness boost and so on and so forth there. But the City Market of Windsor, which is a farmer's market in a way, a local market, a fairly large building, they're co-hosting the yard sale with us. So that's really neat because it's rare that you have a business that is willing to put their name beside yours. So it's the City Market of Windsor along with the Windsor Weather Modification Awareness Group and GAG Canada. And we're holding a charity yard sale event Saturday, April 23rd, 2016. It's at 1030 Walker Road in Windsor. And it'll probably start around 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't have the complete details yet. We're still working that out. But I'm really I'm honored and pleased that the City Market of Windsor is willing to co-host an event with us and not be afraid.
Yeah, I know. This is very impressive. Again, mainstreaming the issue, connecting with others in the community. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And
really on the ball there.
Yeah, so at this event, at the charity event, Tony Pantalesco will be there as well.
Oh, yeah, Tony lives in Windsor, right?
Yes. You can almost walk over.
Oh, from where you live?
He can almost walk over from where he lives to where the event's going to be.
Well, ski season's over on the 17th, so I might be there.
Well, this is the 23rd. By all means, come on over. We're we're hoping to have the event filmed.
It's about a 3-hour drive for me.
Yeah. So,
and I'll be there. I'm taking my bike down.
And Scott will be there.
Are you going to have a place for me to sleep overnight?
Yeah, I can find you a place to sleep. Yes, I can accommodate you at my house.
Well, I mean, I can sleep outside. It might be a bit cool.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
You never know. I mean, it's crazy, the weather. One day it's hot, one day it's freezing. So we had, 14 degrees here. My son was at a ski competition, the Junior Nationals in northern Ontario. We had a first ever tornado in March in Canada, 20 miles
Wow.
away.
Yeah.
Touchdown. So, I mean, they're just messing with everything.
Yeah. We also have another guest speaker that's coming to the charity yard sale, and it's Mr. John Nash. He's an 82-year-old resident from Amherstburg, Ontario, which is in the county of Essex. He spent 42 years working on the levels of the Great Lakes. He was a member of the Weather Modification Association for 10 years. Very knowledgeable on the history of weather modification.
I posted a video about someone who had been involved in weather modification during the Vietnam War. Is this the same guy?
No.
Okay. He was an American.
No, he's Canadian. He's 82, but 42 years. He wrote a 500-page document called Floodgate, where his documentation proves that the Great Lakes are being flooded on purpose. And they have
Flooded or drained? I thought it was more drained.
They can do both. Augment and decrease. And weather modification through cloud seeding, silver iodide, has been used for years to augment the levels of the Great Lakes. But they have, there's a whole mapping system of how they reroute the water. Like they can literally drain a lake if they want to by closing off the water to it and redirecting it another way. But anyway,
it sounds like a very interesting speaker.
He is. I mean, the first time I met him, I think we were with him for about 3 hours, and I left only because I was tired. When you listen so intently for a long time, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't take any more. But it was very interesting, most definitely. So he'll be there.
So a yard sale with speakers.
Yeah.
Are you going to have a potluck too?
No, what? The indoor food vendors, we'd like for them to benefit from purchases from our guests coming.
Okay. So you're going to have some food there.
Well, the indoor vendors, the food vendors are there. And actually, I'm trying to see if they can have a lunch special or a special for a yard sale special.
So this is going to be like in a farmer's market kind of setting?
We're outdoors, and most of the vendors right now are all indoors because it's an all year round market.
Okay.
But we're going to be stationed outdoors, but there is an awning that sticks out fairly far. So if it rains, some of us can be protected, but we still have to work on tents or stuff like that. I'm still working with the manager yet on the details. But it should be an interesting day. The market, are hoping that the indoor vendors will get involved in a way, some shape or form, whether it's through a door prize or, I don't know.
Is there a Gag USA that Warren can get involved in? He's a activist.
No, Warren's going to have to start one. There isn't a Gag USA. I mean, it's easy to duplicate what we're doing, but we don't have the time for that.
Well, exactly.
I don't have enough hours to do another one.
Warren thought he'd get off the hook coming on my show this week, but there you go, Warren. Here's your challenge.
Okay, I want to get some information on that. You guys leave some information with Brian and.
I'll put the site right in the box here, buddy.
Okay, all right, that'll work.
We were just talking about it, Gag Canada. Everything's there, buddy.
Yeah, just take your time going through the website and read it, and I think it's worded fairly easy enough to understand.
Gag Canada, okay.
Yeah, it's basically, it's a lot of work, and they're determined to be successful, and you have to have the right attitude. But basically, they're networking all the different geoengineering groups trying to get them onto one site and organizing events. And through that process, they're trying to create a unity within the movement, and hopefully do some fundraising too. Because there's a lot of good ideas out there. Like Michael Murphy down there. You got some top people down in the U.S. You got Michael Murphy and a ton of people down there. And they all have some great projects. They're starting lawsuits and whatnot. There's all sorts of things that need to be done to raise the funds to make these things happen.
Yeah. And another thing, like you're mentioning, like GAG Canada, what we do for the groups is if they have an event coming up, we add it to our website. We promote their events. The GoFundMe billboards, they're all up on the GAG website for, to get attention for people to donate to.
Beautiful.
So we're networking and promoting. And we will advertise outside of the chemtrail world so that when they go to GAG Canada and they go down the province list and they live in Newfoundland, hopefully they'll find a group in their area they can join.
Do you have a GAG outside of Canada anywhere in any other country?
No.
Okay.
No, this is new. This is just us.
See, I like the way you set it up. Is perfect because Geoengineering Awareness Group. What could be a better place a way to describe what has to be done? And then you just got Canada, then you got U.S., then you got England, Scotland, Ireland. I mean, it could just spread worldwide.
Yeah.
And there are people already going to your site. There's a lot of people over in England. Actually, there's about, I think, 3 or 4 people coming to the conference in May from England.
Yeah.
Right? Eric Seifer. Do you know the list of people coming to the conference?
Give me a second here. I can tell you. There's Patrick Rowdy, Scott Stevens, excuse me, Harry Rhodes.
American. Harry's from England.
Terry Lawton.
England. Pretty sure.
Terry's England. Atlanta Freeland.
California.
Michael Murphy.
California.
Eric Seifer.
England. Or Europe, anyway.
Christopher Fontenot.
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where he's from, but I think it's over there.
Max Bliss.
Yeah, Europe.
Amanda Baise. Baise.
No idea.
And Matt Landman.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a real good mix of people. They're struggling over there, actually, just as we are to get this thing out there. But we might be ahead of them. I'm not sure. I did talk to, over the last few years, I've talked to a lot of activists. Because the Green Party is strong there, well, you would think, well, this issue would do well. But, man, I mean, the global warmers are just snuffing us out everywhere. And it's a real problem.
Sorry.
No comment on that, guys?
I was
global warmers snuffing out the geoengineering movement, saying it's a denial of climate change and all this nonsense. It's not. There's no denial.
Oh, well, no,
it's a big part of the problem. It's a part of the problem. It's probably much more severe and much more a powerful agent of change in the weather than anything to do with the CO2 levels rising. It's much more powerful technology.
Oh, what they're doing?
This stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
With geoengineering.
Oh, they're killing the planet. And they're killing every living thing on the planet through geoengineering.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really talked that much about it. Most people who listen to my show, I've had, at least 10 guests on this in the last 20 weeks talking about geoengineering. I'm pretty sure people are aware of the fact that we are spraying the atmosphere daily with a whole, huge array of chemicals. And there are all sorts of radar systems and other technologies they're using to play with jet stream and move weather systems. It's quite an amazingly sophisticated system, and it must be costing a lot of money and using a lot of energy, and it's poisoning the whole planet. They've pretty much been seen in every country on the planet. This practice, and it's got to be stopped. We don't need it. We don't want it. Nobody can send it to them.
We're funding it.
No doubt about it.
Is that we're funding it?
Yeah, well,
Brian.
one about government. Why don't we just? I want to get Warren's take on the election down there in the U.S. Now that we got this American, and Warren's kind of like a political insider. His dad was very high up in the political machine in Alabama in the time of George Wallace, so he follows politics really closely. So Warren, what's up down there? Who do you like in the presidential election? Anybody?
Well, I'm actually a Cruz. I'm actually a Trump supporter. But
I like Ted Cruz. He's a Canadian man. We need a Canadian as president.
Listen, we'd be glad to send him back to you.
Oh.
Except for Barack Obama, in the history of the United States, we have never had a president that was not born on American soil. And not only was he born on Canadian soil, his father was a Cuban, was actually a refugee from Cuba, and moved to Canada with his wife, and Cruz was actually born, I want to say, in Alberta, but he was definitely born on Canadian soil. He is by our Constitution, he is not eligible really to run for president. Interestingly enough, but they seem to be overlooking that. I just read tonight that there is somebody in Texas, Cruz's home state, somebody in Texas that has finally brought a lawsuit to one of the courts there in Texas to have Cruz removed from the ballot and to contest his citizenship. Texas is the first state really to take an official lawsuit that's been filed to challenge Ted Cruz's American citizenship.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what's really sad though, like just getting away from all this other stuff and
go ahead.
Stuff. We know it's all used to sort of distract us. That there hasn't been one candidate that I'm aware of. Maybe the Libertarian Party is going to say something about the environment and the fact that they're destroying everything. We're destroying the land, the water, the air through various means, geoengineering being one of the primary ones. There hasn't been any discussion about that at all in the presidential primaries.
Absolutely not. It's a sad commentary on American politics that we don't have that kind of discussion going on by anyone.
It's the same in Canada. I mean, we just elected a new prime minister. Everybody loves the guy. Somebody coined the phrase "climatard." That's what he is, a climatard.
There you go. I'll have to use that. We are not using that term here in the lower 48 yet, so I'll start trying to use that word and put it in the mainstream conversation.
Have you guys heard that word?
Yes.
No.
No, somebody posted about that. I think it was on Suzanne Mayer's site, Bye Bye Blue Sky. Climatard, referring.
Climatard. I've got to write that down.
Climatard. Yes, referring to our prime minister and he's actually committing a lot of money to try to develop alternative energy. I'm not sure if it's going to do much. We tend to throw money at a lot of stuff and nothing comes out of it when you're dealing with the government. But yeah. So, but no, nothing about geoengineering, nothing about the fact that the Pacific's dying, that we have nuclear plants leaking everywhere. GMO everywhere. There's almost as much GMO in Canada as in the U.S. It's just not well known.
Yeah.
I was going to mention a moment ago when y'all were talking about the how they were draining lakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a large lake in Southern California where our friend Lisa lives, called it's not really a sea, but it's just a bit. It's like it's about the size of one of the Great Lakes up there, but it's in
Really?
Southern California.
That big?
Yes, it's almost that big, but it's called the Salton, Salton, Salton Sea,
Oh yes, yeah.
and they are systematically draining the Salton Sea for for military, and for a lot of it is going to the south for a lot of different industries.
Hmm.
But they are draining the Salton Sea there in Southern California. Terrible.
Jeez.
Well, they just want to bomb it. Isn't that where the missile tests end up in the Salton Sea?
Right. That's why the Navy is using the Salton Sea for their missile testing downrange target area. Absolutely.
I mean, it's bad in Canada, guys, but I'll tell you, in the U.S., there's no more toxified place on Earth
Oh.
Absolutely.
in the U.S.
Absolutely.
I have family members that go to Florida every year, and they come back sick. They don't come back healthy. I say, my gosh, you're going to Florida to be, relaxed and enjoy the winter in warmth, and they're coming back sick with, one cancer here and another one cancer there. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that people haven't seen the correlation between the cancer rates and the environment.
Mm-hmm.
We've sort of kind of like accepted it. This is the norm now, and it's not the norm, folks. This is fully created by changes, the industrialization of everything, farming, the fact that we've polluted the water, the fact we're polluting the atmosphere. Folks, this is not normal.
No.
And it's just, and what we do, we break it and we try to fix it, and we just create another industry, the cancer industry. It's just, wow, big money.
Oh, absolutely. And well,
Brian,
farm.
are your friends familiar with HARP?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
About
They know all the scientific information, no doubt about it. They've been studying it for 5-6 years now. I'm sure they know more about it than I do.
a couple of days before the polar vortex was pulled down, I was watching the sky all day, and it was absolutely incredible. And you could see the HARP waves, but I had to come inside because my breathing was getting bad. But it was definitely one of the worst days that I have seen.
Yeah, when you live on a lake, you get a much broader perspective of the horizon. You can see a lot further, and it's the same. I'm near Lake Ontario. Whenever I go down there, I can see right across. It's almost like this. Yeah. You feel like you're on an ocean because you can't see the other side, and you see a lot of action. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like things have to change, and I just, myself, I get a little bit frustrated. When I pick up my bike, I'm not sure whether I told you this or not, but I asked him if I could have a sponsorship, and he said no, because I don't believe in what you're saying. He said it's just a hoax, but that's okay. At least I gave him one of my CDs to watch. So now he's at least aware, and he has the right to decide whether it's true or not. But
what movie did you get him? What movie did you give him?
Oh, Look Up.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh, I can't remember. Because I have 3 that I give out. One neat thing though. I've been trying to get in to see my MP for 3 to 4 years, and I could never get past the front desk. Well, I started to put stuff into his mailbox, and then I saw him down at Tim Hortons, and I confronted him, and I said, Toby, like, when are you going to allow me in to talk to you? Well, he finally gave in, and he said, well, I'll tell my staff to book you in. I'll speak to you. So, a little bit of headway there, so that's what I'm going to be doing.
Excellent.
Going in and, yeah, because all the way along, he would not talk about it.
There's a city councilor in Burlington, and I like to pepper her Facebook site with information about all the different planet killers. I call them planet killers.
Yep.
And I get quite a few comments, not from her, but from the other people on the site, agreeing with me. So, it doesn't, we've got to normalize this issue. We've got to confront the machine, and we have to, I had a very interesting experience when I was just in university, and I joined a peace group, and I lobbied 50 different politicians on a peace initiative we were working on, and I got about 30 conservative MPs to sign a letter in support of this peace initiative, which was actually we worked with the UN. We're trying to create a worldwide referendum on the issue of the use of military or nuclear weapons. We were saying it was actually a very dangerous way to try to create peace in the world. And they agreed that, it was way too dangerous a system, and that there was no way of MAD was a crazy military strategy. So we can't give up on the mainstream. That's where all the action's happening, and we can't stay sitting in the corner in our little hovel of buddies and say, let's watch movies about this and that all the time on Facebook or whatnot. We have to interface with the unconscious, denying public, and see what we can do to wake them up. I mean, that is really the way forward. That's why I say activism is the highest form of spirituality, because it is difficult, but it has to get done. And the people that are going to do it are the people who care. And that's what we're doing. That's one of the great benefits of being an activist, is it's very good for your spirit. Do you guys agree with that? Are you guys spiritually connected at all?
You have to be. I don't think you'd survive if you weren't. You have to be.
Good for you. Good for you.
But I see we're getting short on time here, so I just want to say that the GAG Canada website also has the link to the Google map for the tour, for the cross-country tour.
Oh, beautiful.
And the Google map gives you all the stops we're planning on making and the dates. But they may change slightly depending on if an event, if we have to hold off for a few hours for an event somewhere, we might be late on the road.
Now, you have a separate web page, event page on Facebook for that. What's the title of that page? Scott must know it.
I have so many here. It's oh my gosh, I don't have it down as my favorites. No wonder I don't use it. I forget about it. But it would.
I was just looking at it. I was just looking at it earlier. What did I stick that?
It would be the GAG Canada tour. GAG Canada cross country tour.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, it's an event.
Yeah, it's an event.
Are you raising any money? Are you asking for donations?
Well, Scott, you answer.
No. It's coming out of our pocket. My pocket is pretty well empty.
But as you go from event to event, are you going to pass a hat around? Are you going to do any sort of efforts to, when you have a presentation, it doesn't hurt to have a little jar there. That's what I used to do potlucks too, because you have to buy seed and tools and stuff to do a garden. So we just had a pot, and you put a suggested donation on the pot, and then people throw money in there. It actually is quite effective. I've been to events that I want $30 to listen to a speaker. our recommended donation is $30. So, yeah, and the topics were not that interesting, in my opinion. So, no, this is something you guys should try to raise some money and subsidize yourself to some extent. But we need funding to do all sorts of other stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to take a jar. I'm putting a big barrel in the back of the
Oh, yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah. Now, another thing that I was...
Put some apples in it.
Another thing that I've been working on, Brian, is a friend of mine has been contacting the colleges, the film...
Love it.
Because, I mean, this would be a great opportunity, for a documentary. So that's what I'm trying to do now, is to get somebody or a crew together to do a documentary on this, because I'm sure it's going to be a very, very interesting journey.
Well, I interviewed a guy who spent 13 years in a bus, had a family in a bus, going all over Latin America and Central America, spreading the word with sustainability. Love the Mother Earth. Beautiful guy, Albertarus. So, yeah, people have done some amazing things on this planet. I'm not sure you guys are up for 13 years, but man, that guy, when you're talking about making a movie, I mean, I couldn't believe that nobody made a movie about this guy, what he had done with his friends. And they had a theater group and entertainers. It was incredibly brilliant thing that he did. And talk about dedication, having a family on a bus. That's quite something.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Family.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, you might want to listen to one of those. All my interviews are on podcast, folks. I Am Nature on YouTube. I've got a Tricolor Sun. Yeah. There's a few other people using I Am Nature, but if you go down the list, you'll usually hit mine after about 10 or 15. If you do a search in Google in YouTube, and then I've got I've probably got close to 60 interviews stored there. So they're very informative. That's why I do what I do. It's sort of a warehouse of great information, good contacts. You want to be an activist. Everything you need to know is on the last year or so of shows. I touched on most of the major issues. So, anyways,
can I just have
pretty much the end of our time here, folks?
Do I have
any last words? Any
last word? Yes. For the groups out there that are already formed, that are listening, I'm asking you to please send us an email with your group name, contact information, so that I can add you to the registry on the Guide Canada website. And it's important that you send me an email, because it gives me a private email that we can file away for emergencies. If we lose Facebook, we lose contact